Good evening, folks. Thank you for joining me, Piano Lessons with Joel, for your beginner piano lesson. Tonight, we're going to start in our Alfred's Basic Adult Piano Course, all-in-one piano course that we have here. Hopefully you have this book nearby. If you don't have this book yet, see if you can pick one up over the next week or so. You can still be with us tonight on this. You'll do just fine without the book, but over the coming weeks, see if you can pick one of these books up. Secondly, if you have not watched the piano primer courses, there was 3 videos that I put together just to kind of get you grounded for what's coming up in our piano course. Go ahead and watch those 3. There's actually 4 videos. The 4th video is where I go over all the question sheets and so forth. And in each one of those videos, I mentioned the question sheets. You have a download there to help you with the first one. We talk about rhythm, talk about tas and TTs there. The second one, we go from continue with rhythm and then into time signature, how time signature works for us. And then the third one, we talk about the lines and spaces of the staff in the treble clef and the bass clef. So those are the worksheets that we had for our first 3 primer lessons. So if you haven't done those lessons yet, take a minute or take some time, go back through them, and that'll kind of get you grounded for what's coming up in our introduction to playing the piano. Okay, so tonight we will, or today, whenever you're watching this, today we will do some stretching. And again, hopefully you've been stretching your fingers daily. And then we'll get to page 6 in our book. And page 6, let me open it up here. Page 6 is our posture. We'll talk about posture here. Page 7, we're going to talk about finger numbers. Okay, each one of our fingers has a number, and it's important for us to remember what finger is what number. And then we'll go on to page 8. We'll talk about the groups of 2s and 3s that we have on the keyboard here. We'll start doing a little playing. And then finally, we'll finish up with C1 in the course of a half hour. So I'm going to set my timer here to about 28 minutes. When I start getting close to 30 minutes, the timer will go off, and that will tell me I need to let you go to go take care of your practicing or whatever else you need to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with our stretching. We'll just take a minute of this. If you saw the primer lessons, again, we're just gently pushing back. Let's see how I can get that for you. Gently pushing back on those fingers. Kind of keep your arm out strength and just feel the little bit of stretching going on here. And then take your thumb, do the same thing there, and just bring that back gently. Okay. And now let's do the other hand. We'll go out this way. Straighten your arm out. Oh, feel that stretch. Okay. Again, as soon as you feel like a little tightness in there, just don't push too hard. Okay. Okay. The more you do it, the more you'll be able to stretch them back, just like any muscle, right? Okay. And then let's do some of that. Okay. Now there are some warm-ups and stretching in our book that we're going to skip over tonight, but we will come back to them as we go throughout our lessons over the next few weeks in our beginner lessons here. Okay, so right now I am looking at page 6 in the book, and page 6 tells us about posture. It's important when you're playing the piano to make sure you're sitting tall, one foot in front of the other, your shoulders are back but relaxed and down. And what else do we have here? Bench must face. Make sure your bench is square. Knees are slightly underneath the keyboard. That's fine. And then importantly, make sure your wrist is above the keyboard. Make sure it's above. And let me get to a side view here. Let me go to this one here. Okay, so here you see my hand at the keyboard. You want it to be above the piano when you're playing. So that's my right hand. Here's my left hand. You want it to be above. Okay, if your hands are down here, that's just not good posture for your wrist. Okay, so make sure your hands are up here, and we'll talk about more the curve of your finger and so forth. But for tonight, let's make sure that our wrists are up, which means our elbows have to be slightly above the piano keyboard themselves. Okay? And then on this side. All right, let's go back to here. And then the other thing I want to point out for your fingers is that I know this might be a sensitive topic, but your fingernails can't be super long. You need to have short fingernails because you're playing on the tips of your fingers. So that might be an issue for some of us. Proper technique tells us we need to play with our fingertips. And if you have fingernails there, it's going to make it very difficult. So I'll leave that up to you to get those fingernails shortened to an acceptable length. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so now I'm looking at page 7 in our book, page 7, and at the top of page 7 you see we have finger numbers. Okay, so essentially what we're doing here. How about I stand up for this one here? I don't think I'll be using the board today, but that's all our information. That's all our notes from the last time. All right, so our fingers are numbered. So our thumb is 1, and then our index finger is 2. Scoot back here so I'm not overexposed here. And then our middle finger is 3, and then our ring fingers are 4, and our pinkies are 5. So wiggle your first finger. Okay, that is your thumb. I know we don't often consider our thumb as being a finger, but in this particular, so that is 1. Okay, wiggle your second finger. Okay, that's this one here. How about your third finger? Okay, that's your middle finger. Be careful with it, right? And then your fourth finger, go ahead and wiggle that. And wiggle your pinkies. Okay, so I'm going to sit down at the keyboard now, and we'll show an overhead of those fingering. Okay, so actually let me go to this one here, a little bit closer. Keyboard's not as clear, but so here's my right hand finger 1, that's my thumb. 2, and we talked about this in the primer lessons where we were stretching our fingers. This is finger number 2. Okay, 3, 4. Okay, that beautifully weak finger there, that fourth finger. And then 5, your pinky, right? And then with the left hand, same thing. Here's 1, that's your thumb. Second finger is your index finger. Third, fourth, and fifth. So when you have your hands, obviously, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I'll let you do a little practicing with that at a later time, but just know that fingering is extremely important when playing the piano. We have 10 fingers. They need to go on certain notes, and we write in our fingering. All pianists write in fingerings from time to time because after a while it begins to get to be a little bit difficult to remember what finger to put on what note as we're playing all sorts of notes on the paper. Okay, so in your book, let's now go, and we talked about our fingering. Let's go to page 8 in your book. Page 8. Okay, keyboard. You've probably noticed this from when you were a very young child, that the piano keyboard, the geography of the piano keyboard, we have lots of white keys and lots of black keys. And the way we kind of know where we are on the piano keyboard is the setup of the 2, 3, 2, 3 on up that way. And we have 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3 on down into the bass for the left hand. So how about we talk and just work right now with the groups of 2, and then we'll go back and we'll work with the groups of 3. So I'm going to change my my overhead shot to maybe a little bit broader picture of my piano. So now I have pretty much my entire keyboard set up here. Okay, so right in front of you if you're sitting as close to the middle of the piano as you possibly can be, you should have a group of 2 right in front of you. And for upright pianos, for grand pianos, there's probably the name of the piano maker right in front, and that's going to help us find middle C too, which is the middle of the piano for our purposes. So find that group of 2 right in front of you, okay? And go ahead and play with your second and third finger. Go ahead and play those 2 fingers, or those 2 notes, sorry, with those 2 fingers, okay? Okay, just get a feel for that. Okay, now look up and find the next group of 2 right up here and go ahead and play them. Okay, you can play them a few times. Now let's go up to the next group of 2. And the top group of 2. Okay. All right, so now let's play this together. Let's do 4 times on each group of 2. Okay, and how about we take 4 beats of rest or silence in between each one. So let me give you an example. It'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll rest. 2, we'll play the next one up. Go. And so on. We'll go up the keyboard like that. Okay? So find the 2 in front of you, and let's play together. Ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3. Next group of 2. 1, 2. Rest. Look for the next group of 2. Ready and go. Look for the next group of 2. Keep that rest up. Ready and go. Okay. How'd you do? Let me know in the comments how you make out with all this, right? And then let me know in the chat too. You can always put a question in the chat and I'll try to get to it at the end of our lessons. Okay, so that was the right hand. Well done. Let's do the same thing with the left hand. How about you go ahead and just locate. We'll start with the same group of 2 in the middle of the keyboard. And for now, just go ahead and locate your group of 2 black keys all the way down until they get super low. Okay, do it again because it's fun. Good, go on to the next one. And then the last one. Okay, so you take a second to find all them. All right, so now let's do the same thing that we did with the right hand. We'll do 4 beats, we'll rest for 4 beats, and we'll go on down, okay? Starting in the middle, you're using fingers 2 and 3, 2 and 3. Ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. Look for that next one. Ready and go. And then look for the last one. 2. Ready and go. Full notes then. Okay. All right, you can take some time later and practice that. That'll be part of your homework for this week. Okay, now let's work with those same notes, except for this time, let's work on a little bit more independence of those 2 fingers. So I'll play. Let's do, and then we'll rest for 3 beats. And then we'll play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, rest, and then we'll continue in that fashion, okay? So we're only resting for 3 beats because we were actually playing on beat number 1 of that second set of 4, or that second measure, okay? Let's play together. Get your 2 fingers ready. You're going to start with your second finger and then on third, okay? Let me know in the comments if this is going too fast, meaning are we going back and forth here too fast? I can slow it down. You can slow it down at home. Okay. All right, here we go. 1, 2, second finger, go. 1. Rest, rest. Find your next notes. Sit up tall. Rest. 2. Keep your fingers curved. Go. Nice. Find those last 2. Go. All right. Okay. Relax your fingers. Shake them out. And get a sip of water as we're doing this. Now we're going to do the left hand. Okay. All right. So same thing with the left hand. We're starting with the second finger. Let me play it so you know what we're going for. Starting with the second hand, or I'm sorry, second finger, left hand. 2. Rest, rest, and then we go down. Okay, all right, let's do it. Sitting tall, keeping your wrist up. Keeping your wrist up, and here we go. 2, ready, and go. Rest, rest, go. 2, 3, go. 2, 3, go. Very good. So how do your fingers feel? Feeling all right? All right. Let's move on to, all right. So we're still on page 8. Let's talk about the group of 3 black keys. So we'll do something similar with these. We'll go a little bit faster so we can get through. Now you have the idea of what we're doing. You can practice this on your own. We won't take quite as much time. Okay, so find that group of 3. And let's start with the right hand again. And find the group of 3 to the right of the 2 black keys that you're just playing. So you have the 2 black keys here. Let's find these 3 black keys. So now we're using fingers 2, 3, and 4 on the right hand for that. Okay, so let's play all together like this. Okay, go ahead. Let's do that together. And right now we're just finding those 3 black keys. Go ahead. Take your time and do it. Okay, so now that you've found all of your groups of 3 keys, let's play all 3 notes at the same time, and we'll do 4 beats of each, just like we did the 2 group of 2. So it'll sound like this: 3, 4, rest, 2. Okay, got it? Let's do it. So find 2, 3, and 4 on the group of 3 right in front of you. Ready and play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. Look for your next group. Ready and go. 1. Look for your next group. 2. Ready and go. 1. 2. Last group way at the top. Go. Nice. All right. Left hand. Let's do it. Okay, so go ahead and locate them as we did before. Just go ahead and locate them. Notice that way at the bottom of the keyboard, there's only one of the group of 3 down there. Oh, it got kind of cut off there, didn't it? So that last note on the last black key on the piano keyboard is actually intended to be a group of 3, part of a group of 3. So we'll play that too. We'll give it a little shout out when we get down there. Okay, so let's play it together. Okay, all 3 at the same time. Ready and go. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 2, ready and go. Rest, 2, ready and go. Rest, 2, last one note, go. 2, 3. Yeah, all right, nice. Make out okay? Again, you can slow this way down when you practice on your own. So that's pretty much spelled out there on page 8. Looking at my time here, we don't have a whole lot of time yet. We've got 10 minutes left here. So let's, so we just did our 2s and 3s here. Again, take time. Go to page 8 and you do all that again. Slow it way down. Take your time with it. We didn't do the individuals fingers, but we can do that. Let me play it quickly for you. We could do in a group of 3. Okay, and then going down. So on. Okay, so how about you take time to practice that on your own between now and our next lesson. Let's go to page 12. Yes, we're skipping over a bunch of stuff right now, but let's go to page 12 in our book. And let's take a look at right hand C position. Okay, so in our primer lessons, we talked about the lines and spaces of the treble clef and lines and spaces of the bass clef. And we remember in the treble clef, we have, let's go back to here for just a minute, we have every good boy does fine. Okay, that's our hand staff for the treble clef, right? Every good boy does fine. So those are the lines. And then in between the lines, we have spaces. And spaces like, or notes like to hang out in the spaces as well. So for that one, it spells a word. We have F-A-C-E, face, in the space. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that together. F-A-C-E, face, in the space. All right, so those are two little phrases there that can help us remember the lines and spaces of the treble clef up there. Okay, treble clef, this guy here. Okay, all right, so looking at page 12, C position. So it just so happens that middle C is actually below the staff. Okay, we'll talk more about that next week. We're running out of time. We'll always be running out of time, won't we, as far as these lessons go. So the short of it right now, let's go back to my, and let me use this one here. It's a little bit closer. C. You see I have my, we'll talk about this in a minute too if you don't have one of these. 2 here. Okay, right in front of me. And the first note to the left of that group of 2 is middle C. Okay, so now we're talking about the white keys on the piano. So C is here, and that's the first note at the bottom there, that first line of the bottom. C is here, and then D is your second finger, and it matches perfectly with our little cheater here. E is here. F, G. Okay, and then in this exercise, they start over again. Using your first finger, second finger, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, now if you go to the second line down there, they begin on G with your fifth finger, and we're coming back down. And we get down to C, and the next note is back up here with our fifth finger on G. All right. The very bottom line of page 12 begins on C with your first finger. It goes up to G, repeats the G, and comes back down to C. All right? And it should sound like this when you practice. Okay? All right. I'm going to do all three of them again. Again, we're at the bottom of page 12. And this is the right hand warm-up. I'm going to start with the first one. I'm going to change my camera angle here so that you can see from the top, and you can see my right hand from essentially both angles here as to how I'm holding my wrist up, how my fingers are curved. Okay? And I am starting with C with my thumb or my first finger. Back to C again. All right, let's go on to the second line at the bottom there. 5, 3, 2, 1, and we start again with 5 on the note G, F, E, D, C. All right, now I'm at the very bottom line, starting on C with my thumb. Repeat. Okay. All right, how are you making out? Was that too fast? You can definitely slow that down. And I would say that would be, especially if you're a strict beginner at this point, just working on those 3 lines, taking your time, and then go back into the recording and play with me. And you can actually slow it down on YouTube as well, right? And the pitch will stay the same. So that'll be it for tonight, or for today's lesson. We're up against, just enough time here. Couple things. Now, I mentioned my piano note strips that I have here on the piano. And they actually come octaves that I haven't put on yet. And these go nicely onto the piano. If you have an acoustic upright piano or a grand piano, I think these will work well. It depends. Let me show you here. It depends on the distance that you have right up in here, as to whether they fit in there quite nicely. So they do require a little bit of space between the back side of the black key and where the fall part of the piano comes in, where your controls are if you're playing an electric piano. If you have, and I'll have this link below, I think these are a good idea to get us started. You're not going to be using them forever, but I think it's a good idea to get them started. Some folks think that you don't need to use anything like that at all. Whatever helps us learn with the greatest efficiency. The other thing, I showed this earlier in our primer video. If you'll have to find a brand new one of these. This is a little bit embarrassing that I'm even showing this to you. This was mine. Well, I used this when I was a kid, but this is actually my mom's when she was a kid. And if you have a grand piano or an upright piano that would have space for one of these go behind the keys as well. And it can tell you exactly what note they are. They still make them, but since most folks at this, I can't say that I know that for sure, but a lot of folks have electric pianos, and those would not work on electric piano. The other, these guys would work on an electronic piano. Okay? All right. I am tired of talking. You need to get practicing. Let me know in the comments, number 1, how you're making out. What are your questions? How can I help you? Am I going too fast? Am I talking too much? not enough playing. I agree, not enough playing. Probably too much talking, but we'll get through this beginning part and we'll do more playing. Okay, so that is it for tonight, folks. We got through our stretching. We did page 6. We talked about posture, sitting tall, essentially sitting tall, right? For now. We talked about our finger numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We found our groups of 2s and 3s. And we worked with C position. So C position will take a lot more. Oh, there's my alarm. C position will take a lot more of our time upcoming. For now, work on your groups of 2s and 3s. Work on your right hand C position, sitting tall, memorizing what your finger numbers are. Okay, my friends, that is it. Thank you for tuning in with me for piano lessons with Joel, and I will see you on the next lesson. Take care.